Hey guys, this is NHS06. Hello and welcome back to Let's Play Fire Emblem Sword of Seals. Chapter 14 is all queued up. Let's get started. This one's a fun one. It's tough, but it's fun. Alright. So here we go. We're back in Nevada, which is, as we remember, the very deserted desert that was from Fire Emblem Just. So, after rescuing Guinevere and Cecilia, Roy headed towards the Nevada desert, following Sophia's lead. According to Sophia, there was a hidden oasis in the desert, and that's where her village Arcadia was located. However, at that time, Arcadia was under attack by Bern's forces. Their aim may be the dragons. That's uncertainty in narration, strange, perhaps it's suspense. That are said to inhabit the village. Although the Lycia Alliance army moved as quickly as they could towards Arcadia, a vicious sandstorm stood in their way. So yes, this is a desert chapter, but as you can see, this chapter is not only a desert chapter, but it's also a Fog of War chapter, oh yes. So, if we remember from the last game, the no-nos, at least for this part of the game, is that you should not bring any mounted units. The best units to bring, thieves, because it's Fog of War. If it wasn't, you could leave them behind. Thieves, flyers, and magic users. So thieves are important, because if we remember, all of the chapters that are desert like this have items buried in the sand. Thieves will find them automatically, as will units that have a high luck stat. So that's pretty cool. Furthermore, I'm going to be trying to split up the two groups because I feel like that's a good thing to do. I'm going to, let's see here. I want to make them. The group that you're going to want to bring Roy down with is going to be going down to the right. And I want to make sure that... How many characters do I have here? Okay, I have 11, so it is going to be an uneven amount. Alright, so 6 and 5. This group is going to head down to the right, and this group is going to head up and to the left. That's how we're going to do things. You're going to get 2 characters that are going to automatically join you at the beginning of the chapter. And they are, down here we have Sophia. She is the only female magic user that is a shaman, which is pretty cool. She is just going to immediately give her Book of Flux to Ray, because she is pretty useless, I'd say, at least at this point. I'm not really a big fan of her. And I'm going to let Cecilia rescue her, and that's how things are going to be for the next while. Thieves are useful in this chapter for a couple of reasons, mainly because they have the awesome ability to give you a clearance of 10 squares when it comes to seeing in the sand, in the Fog of War. So we have a support here. I don't usually use supports, mainly because, I mean, they're useful, obviously, but I'm not really a huge fan of supports. They're obviously implemented in the game. They're kind of a neat little thing to get some backstory, but I like the added challenge of not using them. But I'll just kind of throw them in here whenever I get them. So it's a little conversation between Lou and Chad. If you remember, they were in the orphanage, and their green hair of Lug and Ray should remind you of a character from the last game, and that is Nino. She was their mother. So fun fact. That should give them a C level, I believe. Yep, that's the only time that I've ever had them support. And that might be the only time that I have them support. Now, I also gave Saul the torch staff. Depending upon if I use it or not, it can be useful for your team, but it's not really necessary as long as you bring thieves, because thieves can do that. They'll find your items. In this particular chapter, there are approximately 7 items that you can find in the sand, and one of them that can only be found using Sophia at the entrance to the boss area. Now, Sophia can be better than Ray over time, but a reason why I don't like Sophia is because Sophia is absolutely a glass cannon. She can hit hard, but just because she can hit hard doesn't mean that she will. And on top of that fact, she's also very, very fragile. So Okay, let's see what we can do here. I have a feeling that Ray is going to absorb most of the experience in this area. That is actually the goal, to give it to him. So we'll see what we can do. And then, and I might send Lou, or let's see what I'm gonna do here. Actually, I have had a change of heart. I'm gonna send Melody down here with this group, and I'm gonna send Lug up here with this group. That way they'll give them a healer, and I think Melody is a better fit for this Southeast team anyway. I'll do that. That sounds more cohesive to the plan. Now this chapter is pretty tough because the main enemies that you're going to be facing should come at you with Wyvern Riders, Wyvern Lords, Mages. Mages aren't too big of a deal, but as you can see, they're not really that huge of a threat, but they can be pretty troublesome if you're not careful. Especially with thieves, because thieves are notorious for the fact that the resistance is pretty terrible. Now, as you can see, it shows that they have 31 units. So you've got a lot to work with. If you can get this all accomplished within 25 turns, you'll get a shot at a Gaiden chapter. And as you know, getting all the Gaiden chapters will get us the best ending, because every Gaiden chapter comes equipped with a divine weapon. And of course, I'm always in it to win it, so we're gonna get the best item. We're gonna get the best ending. Only the best for you guys. The best from the best. Furthermore, with my Let's Play here, I'm also going to, let me see. I'm actually going to, let me see. I'm gonna have Lou kill this guy really quick because the mage. I might actually keep Lou over here because there is a mage and a priest. He might be a bishop. Yeah, it's a promoted priest, which is a bishop. There's a bishop that is rather obnoxious. He has a sleep staff, and I'd like to dispatch him, so I'm going to send Lean over here in Lou's place. She'll be holding on the fort. I'm going to be giving some good news and some bad news, and probably, I mean, it's not terrible, but the good news is good, of course. So that should be uplifting for everyone. Alright, that looks pretty good. The Wyvern Riders in this chapter will be very troublesome. I can guarantee it for you. Because they're all over the place. They've got the ability to move very quickly and very far. So they can attack you when you're not expecting it at all. Which would be very obnoxious. Alright, and here's a sleep staff. But good thing we've got Saul with the restore staff. I'm gonna go ahead. They usually will go after flyers first, but thankfully Melody dodges. It's actually very rare that she does that. I'm gonna go ahead and throw down the Bobby Flay. Yeah, now we can see this guy, so that's fun. I'm gonna back all my units up, that's for sure. Don't want to deal with him. Yeah, that's just bad news. Let's take a look. He's got a silver lance. His attack is 31. Anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and throw out the bad news. It was actually from a little while ago, so this didn't happen too recently. Well, I guess I don't know, would I consider that recently? It was last Friday, so maybe. This guy's got a recover staff. Killing him is very good, because the recover staff will allow him to heal all the HP of his amigos. You don't want that to happen. Alright, and Cecilia is just going to be trucking along as usual. Now, the bad news can be summed up in one statement. And that one statement is that I urge you to not buy from GameStop and or their online ordering systems. Why? Well, the bad news, my friends, is that I bought a PSP. And you say, hey, that's not bad news. Why would you say that's bad news? It's not. But the manner in which I received the product was handled in the worst way possible. Now, last Friday, I made the decision. Oh boy. Whew, that was close. I made the decision to bolster my handheld collection by buying a PSP. I am not in any way opposed to branching out and trying other products. So that was, in my opinion, a great decision. And so I wanted to get a PSP, and I thought it would be fun. And so I looked to GameStop. They had a Final Fantasy IV bundle, which was right up my alley. I love Final Fantasy IV. It's actually my favorite of all of them. So that was pretty awesome that I could get that. On top of that, I had a GameStop gift card. So I placed my order and was all set. The entire thing was going to cost me about $180 with the deduction of the gift card $150. However, the first thing that irked me from GameStop was that they charge tax on online items, which is standard. But they also charged me a handling fee. And the handling fee was $3 to $4 for every $50 that I was going to spend there, which was strange because what I had always been led to believe is that the shipping is based on the weight of the object, not how much it cost. So for every $50 I was going to be charged more, which is rather silly in my opinion. And I was not pleased at all to find that out. So when I found that out, I was very annoyed. It was extra money that I had to spend. But the next day after I had placed my order for the PSP, I checked my bank account and found that not only was I missing the $150 that I paid for the actual item, but I was also missing an additional $140, which is strange. I thought that my bank account had in some way been hacked and that I had been stolen from. Now, I feel like this is a pretty rational thought, and so I immediately contacted their customer service, and I was told that this is an authorization hold they put on my account to make sure that I had the proper amount of funding. And I thought to myself, well, of course I do. If I didn't have the proper amount of funding, you would not be able to place the transaction, it would not have gone through, and I wouldn't be getting the product. So that's what I thought. And I didn't feel too bad in thinking that. But afterwards, I was told that I would get that money back in 3 to 5 days. And I was pretty angry to hear about that because I don't know about I can't speak for everyone else here, but $140 is a pretty big amount of money to me, at least. It's not like something I just throw away. And on top of the fact that I think it's a lot of money, I wasn't prepared to not have it for 3 to 5 days. So that's my opinion. And the authorization hold, I wasn't told about it prior to placing the order. So that made me actually quite angry that I wasn't told about that. It was probably in the fine print instead of up front, because that would be convenient. And so the authorization hold, when I was told that I would be, well, that was close. Whew. It would be back in my account in 3 to 5 days. And that made me very, very angry. So I emailed them and I lamented. I got all my frustration out. But there is a bright side of the story. Although, I do want to say before I tell you that, don't shop from them regardless. Just don't. Do me a favor and Rosa Parks GameStop, and that doesn't mean sit in the back of the bus. That, my friends, means boycott. It's kind of, I don't know if that's a cultural reference that everybody's going to understand. But yeah, so I mean, I can assure you that I will never be shopping with them in store or online because I cannot stand their business practices. I felt for the most part that while it is a matter of security for them, I feel that it's kind of fraudulent to be holding people's money until you can confirm that it's in their bank account, because I was almost charged an overdraft fee, which, for those of you who don't know what that is, an overdraft is when you don't have enough money in your bank account to cover the cost of whatever you're buying, and because of that, it's kind of like an electronic bouncing of the check. And that would have cost me $50 based on them pulling money out of my bank account without my consent. So that made me pretty mad. And going further, the ending of the story is actually not a terrible one, because things did work out in my favor in the end. And why, you might ask? Oh, critical, that was nice. Things worked out in my favor in the end because I checked my bank account, and lo and behold, the $140 that they were supposed to owe me was gone, as they said, in 3 to 5 days. It actually took 2 days, so they were true to their word there. Surprising. And on top of that, there was no other charges except for the $12 of handling. So that means that unless things change, this may have been due to my complaint, I don't know, but unless things change, that means that for a PSP and a game of Final Fantasy, that means that I paid $11. So that's a big fat suck it to GameStop, because they're jerks, and I hate them. But that is cool for me, because that PSP is baller. So I guess I'm not too upset. I think it's pretty neat that things happen that way, and I'm pretty satisfied with the PSP. I mean, it's one of the 3,000 models. I know you guys are probably going to be screaming at me saying, wait for the NGP, but I mean, I'll be honest, I'm not one of those people that really just goes out and buys the newest thing just because they can. I am usually quite comfortable with keeping my money. I'm not going to go out and wait 3 days at a Target or something and under a tent for a video game. I think that kind of behavior is ridiculous. But that's just my opinion. I mean, if that's your style, whatever, and if you've done it before, no condemnation here, but I just personally would not do it. I don't even have the newest model. Anything that I have is got to be the DS Lite or the PSP 3000. So that's the newest thing that I have. And with it, it came Final Fantasy IV. I might have said that already, but if not, say it again. Final Fantasy IV. I have blown through that game. I already got 15 hours put into that bad boy, and I'm almost done with it. So I got it on. Oh yeah, here's another thing I can talk about. The PSP and the game didn't ship at the same time. So imagine my frustration when I get the game, and they both shipped on the same day, mind you. They both shipped on a Monday, but I didn't actually. They shipped on a Monday. I got the game on a Wednesday. I got the PSP on a Thursday. So, just visualize, my friends, my frustration over this entire thing. But the thing is, the Final Fantasy IV that I got is awesome because I love Final Fantasy IV. Blown through that game, almost done with it. It's great. I also ordered Final Fantasy Tactics, War of the Lions. That's the original, for those of you who don't know. Excuse me. And it's awesome because that game is fun. I love Final Fantasy Tactics. Obviously, I'm a fan of tactical RPGs based on the Let's Plays that I've done, and I think you guys are aware of that. So, yeah, I'm a huge fan of the entire genre, and it was only $6. I had a gift card. It was actually $9.99, but I had a gift card for $3, which I used to buy the memory card for my PSP. So the money left over went to good use, and I got Final Fantasy Tactics for $6. So how about that? That's pretty cool. Let's check what turn we're on. 7. Got 25. Doing well. And we only have two of the items so far. I think we got the Silent Staff too. So we're doing well. Things are just peachy, as far as I'm concerned. I don't remember what turn this is on, but there is a turn in which you will get brigands and some berserkers to show up. And unfortunately, they're not quite as cool as the ones from before, because they don't give you any items like the guiding ring or anything cool like that. So you're kind of screwed in that regard. But I mean, it's whatever, I guess. Now I think I'm gonna take out this Mamcoot on this turn because it's bothering me. I don't like him. Deke is good with the killing edge. You probably won't critical because that would be, you know, convenient. Okay, or not. Just one is good because that will hopefully leave Lena the opportunity to come in with the air caliber and finish it off. They changed the name from Mamcoot to Manakeet in the other Fire Emblems, and in my opinion, that's a terrible name. Manakeet? I mean, that obviously sounds like Parakeet, which is a small bird, and I don't think of Ferocious Dragon when I think of the word Manakee. I think Manakeet's a much better word. Or they could have just simply stuck with the word dragon. But then again, they're not dragons, they're people dragons. So, I don't know.